All right, this is going to be cool. I got the word that everything is a go with Tom with our idea of what we want to do here. I'll give you guys the scoop in a little bit. So this especially is the show that you can go into the comment section on the YouTube and type in what you truly want in life. And I am serious. Type in what you truly want in life. You know, share what you want to share. Don't share something that you don't want out in the world. But yeah, think about what you really, really, really want, and then type it into the comment section. And what we're gonna do, there's Jen. What we're gonna do is something really special. And so I've already got the okay from Tom. And you know, back when Baden was inside Jen, so back in 20, that would be 2017, right?
I think so.
2017.
Yeah.
I'd talk to Tom every week, and I would call Tom, and he would say, okay, so here's what's going on with Jen. And he would just read it off like a teleprompter, because it's good to have other eyes, you know, when you're working with family, have somebody else say, hey, here's what I see, because you can kind of be not so neutral if it's your own family. So Tom would say, here's where the bone bruise is, here's where a disruption in the membrane wall is in the gut or in the heart or in a vessel, blood vessel. And here's where some infection is, here's where this is, here's where that is. And then I would go and do the techniques to fix Jen up. And then along the way, what we would do is test and retest. We would have her bend forward and walk around and see how she felt. And then we could see that right before Baden was born, Jen was fully pregnant, and she could bend all the way to the floor without putting her hips back. So she could just be up and just bend forward to the floor without doing the like bend backwards thing to put your hips back to go forward. She would just be able to like just curl forward, and it was the easiest delivery ever. Everything was great. So what we're gonna do is we're going to use some magic, some matrix, because many years ago, before I had any of the matrix energetics or the instant miracle technique or the peace process or any of that stuff, I was doing a demo for a bunch of Scientologists. They were my consultants, my business consultants, when I had a physical therapy practice in San Diego. So there we were in Burbank, and we were learning public speaking. So the guy that taught me public speaking was named Klaus, the late Klaus. And he was a wild guy, you know, smoked cigars, womanizer a bit, Scientologist. I think he was German or something. I don't know. But he taught me stuff. And so I thought, well, I'll do a demo on stage, you know. So we had all these people there, and all these Scientologists started coming around because they're like, oh, Ralph's going to do a demo, because they had heard of this integrated manual therapy, and a lot of them ended up getting treatment in the Los Angeles Center. And so I was up there, and I had already cleared my anxiety, so I wasn't worried about it. But I was testing and retesting Klaus's range of motion in his neck, and then I would do my integrated manual therapy techniques with my hands, and it was making it a little better. We would retest, and he was a little better. And finally, he just looked at me and said, "Why don't you just go straight to spirit?" And I said, "What?" And then he retested it, and he had great range of motion. And I'm like, "What was that?" And so along the way of this healing journey that I've been on, I've noticed that there's ways for things to happen much faster than we've ever been led to believe. And so what we're going to do is use all of that with all of Tom's expertise in about a 30-minute span. And we're going to test stuff for Jen so that she can feel what's different for her. You could even test stuff for yourself. And, you know, what do you really want? So when I said, what do you truly want in life? I'm serious. Write it in the comments right now. Put it in there and let us know, so that then you can put that out there, and then go and see what's different for you after this session. And then we'll see if we ever do anything like this again. We'll see what happens, because I'm excited. So we're going to just wait for Tom to get on. Let's see. Yeah, and comment below where you're from and what you would like. And let's just let's see how many people are actually watching right now. A lot of people watch later. And so even if you're watching later, comment below. I'm going to put what I want as that, just so that it's all included for us. All right. So let's see when Tom shows up. We got everything good. Oh, I know what I have to do. Now I know why it's not on yet. I'm going to go and send you guys the link. You guys don't know the link yet. So let me go put this in the email for everybody. It'll be in the recording. There, you guys have it. Yeah. We do this on the fly. One thing that helped with the integrated manual therapy all those years was we were never that comfortable. There was always new stuff to learn. And so you had to learn to work on yourself because it wasn't going to get any just like more comfortable just to like be in that zone. So here we go. We are good. Everything is good. Everybody should have that email. So let's see when Tom shows up. Yeah.
Did you send him his link?
Oh, I didn't send him his link. Yeah, I sent him his link. Let me go make sure I sent him his link. Make sure I sent him his link. Otherwise, he would have said, I don't have the link. Let's see. So Tom. There it is. Okay, so we're just waiting. And he will be on in a second. Okay, I'm going to open up the window. It's hot. For some reason, there's a buzz out there a lot. I don't know what that is. Okay, so my goodness. Dr. Tom. They say stillness is the key. So I guess we're practicing that for a moment. Maybe that's what this is about too. One thing that's I've been playing with a lot is stillness, is silence.
It was nice on my run yesterday. I was running and looking out over the water to the mountains, like I was making a point of being really present and looking at the mountains off in the distance and just noticing them. And right after that, someone was coming this way towards me and they just looked at me and said, "Good morning." It was so nice.
That's good.
Yeah.
Let's see if anybody's commenting. We are definitely doing it on the spot here. We could start, but I want Tom to see the forward bend because then he'll get a lot more information. And if not,
I'll go check the phone.
Yeah, go check the phone. Sometimes we have technical problems. Can tell you more stories. It's so funny. I thought about this type of session that we're going to do for quite a while, but the video that I made about it was just on Jen's phone, and then we finally got it up. And I thought about I should run this by Tom and really get a plan, and I didn't do that. And then this morning I was just like, oh, I'm going to just email Tom and see if he's up for this, and he said sure. So so hopefully we're here pretty soon. Otherwise, this is a very strange show.
A very still show.
A very still show. You want to know anything about my hat? This is my friend Akbar. If you don't know Akbar, you might want to know Akbar. He's a cool dude. He's helped me a lot. You know, over the years of going down this road of being a hands-on manual therapist, physical therapist in San Diego to now where almost everybody I see is over the internet and worldwide, I had to learn how to like let people know I was here. And I've been led to a lot of amazing teachers. And Akbar's thing is to make more, to give more. So he has quite a hero story. He used to live in an electrical closet in San Francisco. And he was down to his last, he had an old Mercedes, and his brother and him had convinced somebody in a warehouse that they could sleep in the closet in a warehouse, an electrical closet. And there they were, and he had had a lot of history of drug abuse and alcohol, and it wasn't making his mama proud, as he said, but he had an old Mercedes, and then he saw something, some coach selling something, and about how to be successful, and so he sold his Mercedes for $2,000, and he spent, I think, $1,997 on this online program, and then he started down this road of learning how to do something that could help somebody, and he's become very, very, very successful, very successful, and so. But along the way, he's been able to figure out that giving more is the road to making more, and then that's the road to giving even more. And he helps build wells in Africa. I think that's where his family's from. He does a lot, and he even has done speaking engagements where people then wanted to pay him a fee that most people would say is bigger than their monthly fee. And he's done things like just tell people, just donate it to your charity. So he's an amazing guy, and he's figured out a lot of stuff, and he's helped me a lot along the way. So I'll give a shout out to him. And I don't know, we'll see. Hopefully this thing goes. I could just do it with Jen, but I want to like really showcase Tom's talents and what he can do for people, but I don't see him. One of the things that's amazing that I've learned, I learned it from a few people and had to work on myself a lot, was to be comfortable in my own skin, even if something didn't work out, even if I was pressed for time, even if I didn't know what I needed to do, even if I was going to be under test situations, be checked in on from teachers and stuff, and have to showcase my talents in front of people. So I learned how to clear a lot of the inner angst around that. And so, while I'm not feeling any angst around what's happening right now, it is kind of strange because I was really looking forward to this. One of the things that's that I've come to take as my rule set is that whatever happens is useful. It's all for my good. Another term that I learned from Akbar. And one time I was, I guess this is story time. I had a PR person. The Scientologists, the consultants had told me, you need a PR person to go out and talk to doctors' offices and doctors and get me appointments with doctors back in San Diego to get them to send me clients. Back then we called them patients. And so there we were with a doctor, Dr. Grisalia, an amazing doctor in neurologist in San Diego. And I was in his office with my PR person, Julia, and Tom might be on there. Let's see. I have no Zoom link. Oh my goodness. Okay, Tom, let me get you a Zoom link. Hang on, you guys. But I said something that later my PR person said, why did you say that? Because I said what we were doing was kind of like the laying on of hands, like in the Bible. And here we go. And later we found out from his story, he wrote me a really nice email, and it made perfect sense with all the trouble he had been through, and he had been a born again Christian recently, and we became good friends. And so no matter what happens, we don't know what the whole story is and why things happen and why they are the way they are. But what I've found is there is a way to treat any obstacle as the way. One of the great authors that I love, Ryan Holiday, says, do not let this disaster go to waste. And so during these really crazy times where everything's up in the air and crazy. There's ways to use that, not only to like work through it or fix it or get over it, but actually to see it as the gift that it is, the training. And so that's where we're going soon. I'm planning on releasing something big this Saturday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And I've got to get it all together. I've got it all done. I just have to like put it together. So it's going to be about how to use an obstacle as the way, your way. And right now I'm getting to practice it like crazy because we are waiting. 2 people watching right now. It's funny. I know people are busy. It's that kind of thing. And hopefully people will watch later because this one I'm hoping is going to be big for you guys. And if you're watching, just give a little like on the video. Let me know you're there. Let me know where you're from. And if you want, let me know what you want. Like you're going to get to talk to Tom in a little bit through the comments. So if you want, let us know what you want. What if something were to be done for you today, what might that be? Okay, here we go. Tom, let's promote him to panelist. Okay. Where's Tom? There we go. I think we're going to be good soon. Let me go get Jen once I get Tom on.
Hi, Ralph.
Hey, Tom. Sorry about that. I thought I sent you the note, but then we looked again and we sent it again. But we got plenty of time for what we want to do. How's it going?
Okay. You have to open up my video, though.
I wonder how I do that. It's like,
Am I a panelist yet?
You should be a panelist. Oh, I just muted you again. Sorry, asked to unmute. So I just asked to unmute you. Looks like you should be able to.
Okay.
I was telling him how back in the day of all the center IMTs around the world, we were always learning new stuff, and there was even Kim Burnham used to say one of the teachers was never comfortable because she'd get from teaching class somewhere in the world and get back to Connecticut, and there was like a whole new terminology, like all sorts of new stuff to learn. So because of us having the ability to work on our own primitive brain, the fight or flight brain, we got lots of opportunity to do that because it was never like that comfortable, you know.
Well, even though they can't see me, the process of integrated manual therapy is always seeking the truth of the body.
It is.
Always trying to find the essence of what one piece changes that person, that life around, one piece at a time. So, we started very physical, working on muscles and bones and structure. And then as we started to peel that away, we got into emotions and mental thoughts. And then we got into consciousness and hearing the essence of, what a soul can hear. And, through the 30 years of my practice, I've seen all those work. Prayer has worked for some people. Changing a mindset has worked for other people. And then just fixing one little piece of something on the body changes a lot of people at the same time. It still says can't start video because the host has stopped it. So.
Man, okay, well.
Can you make a co-host?
Yeah, let me make you a co-host. Let me make you a co-host. Let's see what happens if we do that.
Okay.
Okay. You changes stuff all the time. I'm not sure why. So I've already got them all set. You helped us sell out for this guy actually. So he was inside Jen, and you and I would meet, talk on the phone, and you would tell me here's where the bone bruise is, here's where the destruction of membrane is in this artery or in this intestine, or here's where some infection is, or here's where this is or that is, and then I would do the techniques. And so I was telling that story, and then I was telling a story of how when I learned public speaking from that Scientologist Klaus, one of the people in Burbank, and I was doing a demo as part of my training, and there was all these people and all these Scientologists were gathering around to like watch me do a demo of integrated manual therapy. And he was out there standing up and he had a tight neck, and I was doing some stuff and it was getting a little better, getting a little better. And finally he looked at me and said, "Why don't you just go to spirit?" And I was like, "What?" And then he just moved his neck just totally. And I was like, "What was that?" So it was before I knew some of these other energetic ways, but I thought this would be fun. Let's just see what happens. I'm gonna be in that space, and I'll give you guys something really funny, cool at the end, kind of a secret of how to do this even faster at the end. So hang around for that, and it's not going to be that long because we only have time for a little bit. But yeah, I thought if you want to just start to just what I thought we do is have us check Jen, like I forward bend Jen, and then you can see more stuff, and I know you already see stuff, but play like that, and then you just rattle off everything that you see. We'll play in the field, and then we'll retest Jen.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. For a second, baby. Okay. So standing right here. Okay. There's Jen. Okay. So in true Tom fashion, I'm gonna do my best while my teacher watches me. We're going to she's standing up, and I'm gonna not let her do her hips back. So first bend forward and just let your hips come back.
Okay. Excuse me, Aiden.
And see how she puts her hips back? We don't want to do that. We're gonna like.
And also notice that Ralph, her head comes into extension.
Oh, watch that.
So we want to curl her down. Jen, tuck your chin and don't let it move from your chest.
So now we're gonna start like this. So here we go, head, and then start to go forward.
And right there, her hips start to move backwards, right?
Yeah, and I can feel it, and I can feel her raising up on her toes.
Yeah.
So in order for her spinal cord to continue to move, if she tilts her head back, she unties the back of her spinal cord. That's
So
a
you
key.
can go like this, and now tilt your head back, and now see how
Now she can continue to bend down, and that's a cheater way of not getting things done.
cheater move.
Okay.
And the other cheater move is she starts to bend down and she lets her hips come back.
Yeah.
And she looks like great.
Okay, Jen, now face the camera for a second. And if you bring both arms straight up over your head. Perfect. And now come back down. And just do that one more time. So we're watching the flow of your arms. Really good. Are you having any right shoulder problems, arm problems, pins and needles in your arms?
Yep, my shoulder's been sore and a little bit weak when I go to like turn myself when I'm nursing him in bed. It'll have me flip from side to side. And
Yep.
the shoulder's definitely been bothering me a little bit.
If you pull your hair back a little bit.
Okay.
Okay. So after you analyze posture like this for thousands and billions of people, it's easy to see that in your right shoulder and your right rib cage, about an inch or two down from your clavicle, there's a depression on the right side that's not on the left side. And it's a little go up one notch. Right in there, that's a little more sore than the other side.
Yeah.
So, and that is actually part of your shoulder, believe it or not. So some people just think the shoulder is where the arm attaches to the body. And when we study really a lot of anatomy, the shoulder is the part of the arm and the scapula. But then as we bring the arm over our head, it has to be able to bend the rib cage. So there seems to be a little bit of a dislocation or of her second or third rib, Ralph, on her. So even if she turns and faces the other direction and we bend her without touching anything, have her do that again. So face her that way.
Like blocker or go blocker?
Yep, block her.
Go blocker. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Good, right about there. And okay, Jen, now come back up. And you're going to take your right hand and just place it so your thumb is on your clavicle or your collarbone, just like a big palm, and put a little pressure on it, and then try to tuck your chin and roll yourself down and see if that's any better. Okay, now take your hand off it, give me a little body shake, and try it again, and you'll be tight again. right? So that's stiffer, right? To do? Yeah,
I feel like that
So-
did something to me.
Yeah. we're-
what's that, Jen?
Okay, cool. So
Yeah.
Tom did that. Yeah, just anything. Yeah, keep on going, Tom. This is awesome.
No, so you can show any of the applications that, so in IMT terms, Ralph, she has a depression of her third rib, the costochondral cartilage is posterior, and there may be a bone bruise, there may be a DOM underneath it, or some infection motility in the lung. So all those three things I can't tell, but you can tell by touch and perception on that piece. And it may be technically, Jen, if you actually rub the top of your breast a little bit, is your right breast a little more sore than or lumpier than the left side?
I mean, definitely that spot you were talking about. I don't notice anything like lower down though,
Okay,
but
is it-
up around that second river,
Yeah.
it's definitely.
So it could have been because you were doing something and you hit your shoulder, or it could have been a little bit of a mastitis from, teethings and things like that. It just feels like you have some immune deficiency motility in there and everything's just cramped down around that whole area.
Yeah.
So Tom, if we're on the phone kind of right now, if for your treatment plan for me, what would be your treatment plan as you've kind of checked in with Jen? You've seen her, you energetically kind of know her. You do know her. What would be the rest of the plan that you see that you say, okay, Ralph, here you go.
Intuitively, Ralph, the structural pieces that I'd like you to look at is we have to differentiate between a bone bruise of the third rib, disruption of membrane of the third rib area, and then some IDM of the third area or infection motility under there. Because it just feels when the ribs are a U-shaped process in the body, and the front of the rib could be just as make neck pain in the back, believe it or not, or also stop you from breathing, or also stop that whole shoulder movement. So with the hand skills, it's generally one of those three things, or a combination of a little bit of all those over time that, or even if she was a client at home and she had that piece, I would have her go in and just gently do a pressure and move it so that the tissues would start to get mobile, and we can bring more blood and more white blood cells to the area, so we can help with the IDM and the disruptions of membrane eventually. But you have more specific tools that you can fix the bone bruise, you can fix the whole patch. So the body really survives on those pieces.
Yeah, so the bone bruise, the disruption in any kind of membrane wall in that area, vessels or lungs, and infection. And,
So, what I say to a lot of people who get body work, if something's more persistent, so Jen has like back of the shoulders tight and her neck's tight, and the massage didn't really fix it. Those muscles from the back side of your body are trying to cuddle it and make it supportive. So they're wearing out and making noise. And that causes from the front of the body. Right?
Yeah. Okay.
So
Cool.
when a lot of people say, well, it hurts back there, why are you touching over here? It's usually the thing that doesn't move, and all the other joints or all the other tissue systems that are supporting it, and they have to be overused, they start to have the complaint. So a lot of times we're looking for the hidden story behind all those projects there.
Yeah. Cool. Let's
It's amazing how sore this is too, and I didn't even, realize it. I wasn't paying attention to my body.
Yeah, well, when we get busy, that's part of the globality of what is true in chiropractic and osteopathic medicine, where we have a capacity of putting things out of our mind or out of our awareness, and at a certain point they overwhelm us, and then we start to feel totally bad. So we can make our mind shut off that pain until somebody actually touches it and gets irritated there.
We're good at avoiding pain for sure. Let's see. Tell me when you're ready, and we'll do another recheck.
Yep.
Do a recheck?
And, you know, if we look at one more piece to touch in there, Ralph, is that it's under the lung. And, you know, when we look at body symbolism for tissues, the lung's about guilt and grief and sorrow. So if you clean up a little bit of that at the same time, or give her some support in those fields, I think that feels like it will go a longer way than everything else.
Yeah. So that's done. So let's
Can
see
I
what
come
happens.
back in 3 minutes?
Well, let's just test it real quick.
I think we can try, but I think it's.
Let's check it. We'll check it, and then you can come back at the next too.
I will.
Okay, here goes, ready? Okay, so I'm gonna go and go.
That feels so much looser. Like that was a lot easier.
How does it look to you, Tom?
And Jen, because Ralph was doing his little magic, he opened up all those on the spiritual level at the same time. So you'll notice that your breathing capacity is also a little bit better too.
Yeah.
Check your shoulder. Whatever you did at the beginning, check your shoulder.
Let's turn this way and
Oh my gosh, I just don't feel. I know my shoulders are always not a huge range of motion, but
That's okay. That's a good
this
testing.
is that was so much easier than it was a few minutes ago. It's just
Good.
more. Thank you.
Nice teamwork, Ralph.
Yeah, it's cool, huh?
No, that's
So you
awesome.
need something to do for 3 minutes?
I need to get
Okay.
set up for a few minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, one thing that was amazingly cool was, you know, I have skills. I can see stuff. I can feel stuff. But it's funny when it's your family. Like Tom even has people that aren't family work on him. The eyes are just. It's nice to have other eyes on it, you know. And when Jen was pregnant with Baden, it was just so cool. I mean, we would meet every week, and I would have a whole treatment plan to work on Jen. And at the end, Jen's mom showed up, and so she would take care of Ben, hang out with Ben, and we had a great time. And we went to she started going to labor, and then she was it was kind of very low key, and so we went back and forth. We were in town. We were living out by the mountain, but we were in town, close to the midwives, and we were popping in and out of my office and on the trails walking, and I'd work on her a little bit with what Tom said, and then we'd do other trails, and it was like a date. It was like a date. And then we went to the midwives. There was a little bit of like oomph when they gave her some herbs to get things started, which we were like, you didn't have to do that. But later we found out the midwife was going on vacation and wanted to leave. So Baden was born, and it was great. And a funny story, he cried for about 10 minutes. And Jen was like, she says, oh, look, he's telling us the story of what happened. And he was going on and on and on. And you could just see him like talking about, it was like this, and then it was like that, and then boom, and then he was done. And he just latched on. But it was the best ever. And so I learned a lot how cool it is to have a couple of eyes on, especially, you know, someone that Tom cares about us and loves us, but he's got a level of like, more neutral. So it's really cool. And he can see stuff at a distance, you know, so can I. And with all the integrated manual therapists around the world, you can talk to him. He's got it on his directory, imtwellnesscenter.com. And there's probably somebody in your area that he could talk with. And you know, some consult with Tom over the internet, over the phone, talk to your therapist and get stuff done like that. And then there's also ways to play energetically. So hopefully we'll get Jen back in a little bit and see where she's at in a minute. But yeah, anything else you want to say, Tom, or do you see anything else in Jen? And I'm going to put it, it's already done, whether you want to add any more to the treatment plan, but yeah, anything, what's on your, what do you think? What do you think?
I feel that we played on many different layers of healing today, right? And it's always hard when somebody's close to you because we have many layers of relationship there. And when you have somebody look from the outside, it's a little easier to be an observer of those processes, a whole lot easier.
Yeah.
And so I always enjoy working in a team. And I have Nancy with me here, and we've been working together for 25 years. And it'll be, if I feel blocked, I'll have her come in, or we'll be in the same room at the same time working on different clients. And I'll pick up something new, or she'll pick up something new, and just, so I've always liked working in a team approach of having other people address those facets.
And you know, when your practitioner is happy, things go better. so let me I want to check with Jen again. Oh, well, so my secret, one of my secrets, a couple of secrets. One is Tom will love this. The second one, the first one was when I first learned matrix energetics, I had just taken the autoimmune class from Tom and Sharon back in summer school. And then the next weekend was matrix energetics for the first time. And then Kim Burnham was staying with us for 2 weeks and she was working in my clinic. And my client was late, my new client. So I was over there by Kim's table because we had 4 tables in the room. And Kim said, well, you can always go in the room and set it up so it's already done. And I'm like, oh yeah, they showed us how to do that. So I did. And just, you can go on my testimonial page and look for Wanda's testimonial. Bottom line, it was like a 1-second treatment. And I spent the rest of the hour following her around while she was writhing around on the floor. New client had never met me, thought she was coming to physical therapy. Actually, she had met me before, I didn't remember it. And such a shift. And so what I do now, and what I did for us is I set the space up so it was already done. So by the time Tom and I showed up, it could play itself out. And then the other thing I did was, you know, Sharon's been passed away now for, I think, 5 years.
Yep.
So Sharon loved to sit over there by someone's liver and just pop her feet up on a little stool and just work and watch all the other 20 plus 30 therapists working. And so I was like, I wonder what Sharon would see today. And I just put that out there for us all to have Sharon and Tom working together as a team, because that's like an awesome team. So so let's just check Jen. Let's check Jen one more time. See where we're at.
No, but I have the right set up.
Yeah. Okay, so here we are. So Jen's gonna move forward. A little better.
Yeah, well, and I feel less pressure in my toes. So even though I might not be going farther down, I'm compensating less.
Yeah, I don't feel her rising up on her tiptoes as much. A little bit.
Yep, you look good there for that mobility that we got.
Yeah,
pretty
that's
good.
incredible.
Let me do this. I want to do this. I don't even know what this is yet because Tom hasn't shown me yet. But I'm going to go and grab the mobility, the biomechanics of the helix stuff. He told me it was 3 fingers. So go 1, 2, 3 finger tequila. Let go of some of that. Okay, so here we go. So we'll go. Yeah, maybe not be different, but
So Ralph, if you just touch her on her ureter right above her left iliac crest, and then do that same thing, it's the ureter hooked up. It's not actually the bone joint.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so we'll do all the IMT for the ureter, and right there.
Yeah, that's the perfect area right there.
Interesting. Okay, go ahead and do it. Let me see. DOM, all DOM templates, blueprints, ureter stuff.
Okay.
They did
Yeah,
jump on my
it's
toes.
getting better. It's getting
Yeah,
better.
so let's just do one more. Ralph, you support her and, you know, put your hip against her sacrum and Jen, you're going to stand as tall as possible, lift up from your ears, like you're pulling up towards the ceiling. Now tuck your chin and start to roll down every single part of your neck. Now bend over your breastbone. Now start to suck in your diaphragm of your lungs. Now pull your bladder back up, and Ralph, have her anterior rotate her hips a little bit. There you go.
Oh, wow.
Keep going. You can go a little bit further.
It's cool. She just has to also learn how to do this movement.
Yeah, she had the mobility, but her muscles didn't know how to do it.
Yeah, and so now come up, and then let's do this. So let's
Oh, that is cool.
so do that one more time.
So start very tall and then roll yourself from your chin. Now you're coming down, you're gonna bend your sternum backwards, pull in your diaphragm now, suck in the diaphragm, now pull in your bladder. Right about there, now let your hips roll forward. Yeah, just let them roll forward and there you go. That's it.
Okay, come back.
Wow, that is amazing.
Now put your elbows like this, and then just resist me. Okay, let's let that go. And then go ahead.
Go ahead and say something, Ralph, because you're not on camera at the moment.
Oh, okay.
There you go. Keep going, Jen.
Put your arms out.
Wow.
And now without thinking about it, just go ahead.
It definitely helps to
Helps
think.
to engage it, huh?
Yeah, it helps to pay attention like you would in Feldenkrais or
Try
something.
your arms.
They're so much more fluid.
Yeah.
Your arm will just see how you feel. Working on them.
I feel taller, but I almost feel like yeah, I'm just noticing this area more, probably because we focused on it a bit this morning. So and I
So
did new movements with it, which was
just as you want to reflect, Jen, on just because when we hold our lungs, we hold back grief and sorrow and guilt. So as we've opened that up, maybe those stories of your life will start to come up, and just instead of holding your breath and not realizing them, just if you let yourself see them, feel them, and understand them, then they'll never come back again.
Yeah, that's it. Just Baden gets to say his story and then it's done. Tom, this was super fun, man.
yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, so really reach out for Tom. Info is his email, info@imtwellnesscenter.com. The website is wellnesscenter.com. IMTwellnesscenter.com. And he's got weekly Zoom sessions for practitioners and other people, anyone that wants to join. And then we're on once a week on Wednesdays right now, which is, I just hope it just keeps continuing because it's super cool. And yeah, if you want more, let us know.
Okay, be safe this week and enjoy, and we'll chat next week.
So good to see you, Tom.
Thank you so
Yes,
much,
man.
Tom.
All right. Bye, man.